Okay, I think it's working now. uh, all right, let me. I'm gonna share the link in the chat. Oh, how we doing? How we doing? So I'll start off by um, I know we have actually we have a huge week for earnings. Let's see. I know we have Facebook, um, Tesla. Where can I see this week? Okay. So if you guys want to like put in the chat anything you guys want me to look at, so I can kind of have like a talk track and um, go over stuff for you guys. Because yeah. So Monday, Coca-Cola, JetBlue. There's like all the popular ones. Oh, we have Boeing on Wednesday. I can't see the chat. Where can I look at the chat here? Alrighty. Now I see it popping up. Well, I'm still in the Disney trade. Let's see if the market like box office records, or if it'll do anything from that. I know Toy Story 3, it did okay in the box. It did pretty good in the box office, but I don't think Disney really rallied off of it or did anything. Let's take a look at HD. Wow. So we're oh yeah, that's why. Wow, wish I saw this easier. It just had this breakout recently, probably. Um, well, this doesn't look too good for HD, but let's look at a lower time frame. That's probably just because the market's probably cooling down a little bit. Let's see. For HD, I wouldn't necessarily be long on it. I mean, it definitely just broke out, but the thing is, will it hold? My assumption is, um, we might see a bounce. Maybe it just filled the gap, but this is, oh yeah, look at that. Right when you saw that, that would have been your trigger to short it. Um, that would have been a nice play, but I don't know. I would look for a reversal or a confirmation of some sort of turnaround. I'm assuming that we might see a bounce here at 211. But yeah, like none of these time frames look too good. The risk reward isn't there. It just broke out into all-time highs. Um, so it's like how much upside is there, and it's starting to turn around. So I don't know. I would sit on the sidelines and watch for now. Um, HD is not something I would take yet, but I'll look at I'm not gonna trade Facebook this week just because they have earnings. What day? Yeah, they have them. What is it on Wednesday? What's the 24th? Wednesday. Yeah. So let's see what the IB is on these. Oh, here we go again. Uh, I mean, I could chart out Facebook for you, but it's just not really something I would trade the week of earnings. This is like a huge week for earnings. Probably the biggest week of the year. You have all these huge companies reporting earnings, which will kind of give a better picture on how companies are doing in the market and where we are moving forward with the rates. Um, so that's kind of what the market will be keeping a big eye on, and that's what they'll be taking from these earnings. Um, um, I could be long Facebook in the future, like long term, definitely. All right, so if you were going to trade Facebook, which I wouldn't really trade Facebook right now, this doesn't look too good. But let's see where we have some support. You might see some support right here. I'll draw it out for you. I'm a little hungover today, so apologize. But is this 197.36? I know we have a gap on Facebook. I don't want to look at the weekly. How do I make it a 2-year time frame? Okay. So we have a gap to fill all the way to 218. Will the earnings blow everyone away? I don't know. Um, I know that they're under a lot of scrutiny from the government and with the privacy issues and everything, which I think they've been handling pretty well. Um, I think, like I said, all depends on where the market is going. As you saw, I believe, was it the close on Friday? I know that there was like an oil tanker that was seized by Iran, and the whole market just sold off at the end of the day. So you kind of, when I say that a lot of these large cap stocks and stuff are um, following the market closely and are very news driven. You saw at the close of Friday there how statements from the Fed um, and even geopolitical issues, how stuff like that, the whole market will just tank and ruin trades. We saw it with Disney. Kind of got screwed over with Disney, but I'm holding. I'm down a little bit, but this is where I see some support for Facebook. But on the daily, the candles don't look good at all. Um, and with earnings too, a lot of stocks tend to trade a little weird prior to earnings. So my opinion is just stay away from it. But um, right now it looks kind of bearish. So I do see some support on the yearly around here. Um, I would say 195 is also another level I could consider support. Let me see here. Right around here too. But right now I wouldn't go long on Facebook. I'll look at Nvidia. Okay. I'll look at this Micron. So looks like Micron just kind of broke out a little bit. I know it was had this large resistance right around here at 44, you could see. Came up, rejected, came up, rejected again, came up, rejected again, and it kind of tried to make a push on this candle too. Again, rejected. Finally, we're getting some breakout here. Um, nice little, we have a little gap here to fill. It's nothing huge, but in the 48 area. So on a daily, this looks pretty good. I always start out with the daily time frames to get the larger picture. Then I'll work down to like a 4 hour and see how that looks. Um, RSI, mm, it's getting up there. I could see a little bit more room to run. Um, MACD looks good. I'll look at the hourly. Oh yeah, and what did we look like on Friday? Was this Friday? What 719? Yeah, yeah. This looks good. Um, I could consider it. Let me see here. Oh, didn't want that. So if we break above 46, where did we close at? Okay, so if you want to put that on your watch list for Monday, if we break out above 46, I could see another move, a possible move to um 48. I don't know if we would see 48 tomorrow. Could we? Would we get the move on Friday? We had a, yeah, not too crazy of a move, but we could see 46. I'm sorry, not 46. We could see 40, somewhere 48 possible gap fill next week, and that's all depending on the markets. So, um, if we start heading down towards like 44.65 area, actually, let me look at the daily. If we break below 44.71, um, I wouldn't um, I wouldn't hold my calls. I should probably get a sheet of paper and just jot some stuff down for you guys. So I'll look at Micron. I'd say Micron above $46 would be a trigger for calls. Um, Tesla also has earnings. I think the option market has priced in, yeah, earnings on so. Um, don't don't play Tesla either. I would definitely would not. I know the option market has priced in, I believe, like a $30 move. Um, so it's those options are going to be very expensive. Um, trade. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, let me just see what these calls look like. Yeah, these are $11. Like I said, this is like a huge week for the stock market. We have so many earnings and so many things could happen. Um, so Tesla, I'm just not. I would stay away from it. We've had a crazy run up um, this past week. Um, yeah, so it's got a nice channel going on where we broke out above 256. That was a little resistance we had there. Um, I think we touched 160. We failed to break out above 160. I'm not going to go too crazy in the Tesla because they're reporting this week and the options are crazy expensive. So, PG. What is PG? Oh, okay. Uh, the Procter Gamble Company. Was this like a casino kind of like online gambling thing? Hmm. Okay. Is this all-time high? Yeah. Yeah, this thing has just been ripping since for the past 2 years or past year, 2 years back here. Okay. So it just kind of started a bearish cycle on the one day. It looks like I expected to have some sort of retracement down. It just had a nice push up. I mean, you had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You had like almost 12 green days back to back. So I expect this thing either needs to cool down or consolidate for a bit. Um, Everything moves in waves. Um, as you can see, up, down, up, down, up, down. At some point, it's going to need to come down a little bit or consolidate. Um, Kind of has some support on the 50. Likes to kind of use this as support. So um, you might be able to grab some puts on a retracement, but we could see a bounce at 114. I think you would want to look at 114 as a possible bounce zone. This is kind of where it had its previous resistance before it made the push to 116. Draw a line there. Lower time frames, let's see. I'll look at the 5-day, 15-minute. Yeah, so the MACD, seems like it's starting to roll over. Couple consolidation days at the top here. Yeah. Look at this. It it reached 116.52, but that got sold off immediately. So it kind of like been consolidating in this range, and now finally it's starting to roll over. You could see aftermarket, it even sold off a little bit too. I don't even know what kind of company this is, to be honest. Diapers, detergent. I'll have to look into it, but I could see it as a possible short. I wouldn't go long on it yet. So let's go back to the one day. Um, you might be able to catch like a short down to 113, and I'd look for a bounce down at 113. If we break 113, or no, I'm sorry, 114, 114.09. Yeah, so if we break 114.09, we might see another sell off back to 112, and then that's where we might bounce. But let me see. I'll draw a little line here. These are like my two kind of areas of support I see. So you could short it. I wouldn't go long on it. You could see these top candlesticks here have a lot of selling pressure up here. So um, that's what I would expect. A bounce at some point down at these two levels. Um, what we got? Oh, Boeing. Yeah, I'll take a look at Boeing. Oh wait, Boeing reports too. See, this is why it's tough. All these companies are reporting. It's Wednesday. Let's see what these. Okay, these are a little bit cheaper. So yeah, just to get an eye or an idea at those Tesla options, this Boeing is a now sitting at $377 versus Tesla, which is like 256, which is 100 and about $20 cheaper. And you could see that the Tesla options were priced in at $4 more than Boeing. So just kind of an idea at how expensive and volatile the options market for Tesla is next week, which is why I say stay away from it because you could get screwed. Boeing, I'll take a look at it. Ooh, yeah, look at this. Um, we're right here. I'll look at. We are right here. Did we fully break out yet? We haven't fully broken out yet. What's the top of these candles? 379. Um, well, we just kind of broke out. You could see this was some 375 back in June was some serious resistance. Look at this, which was previous support back here. So we kind of started to break out. Um, I would say we've broken out, and we could see another move to 385 if we get confirmation over 379. So yeah, that's something to add to the watch list. I don't know if I'll put it on the watch list tomorrow. Um, I might trade it depending on the IV and what they look like on Monday. Boeing, I would say calls or go long. If we, oh wow, that's too close. Okay, hold on. So high 379.31 over 379.31. That was the price. Um, and then I guess if we get like a hard rejection and it fails to break out, we could probably see like a consolidation or a little pullback before the earnings. Um, yeah, and even it held really strong on Friday sell off. So that's kind of like another. Um, I use this as like a signal too, as if a stock is strong. For example, I know like the trade desk has a high beta. So if the market is really tanking and the trade desk, I'm using as an example, is still kind of consolidating or moving up slightly, that tells me that you have a lot of buyers and people are not, it's not selling off like the rest of the market. So if a stock is usually performing like super strong during a sell off, um, I usually, one good green day in the market and this thing could really go. So during Friday's huge sell off, I mean, we really kind of only saw a dollar really move down. We still closed up here, or no, we closed down here. But yeah, 378 is a level two on the lower time frame you're gonna want to look at. You have some resistance at 378. So we'll do. You could get in calls at if we break above 378, and as we move up, and contest 379.31. If we fail to break over, cash in your calls and leave it at that. Because we didn't break out. I would say if we break over 379.31, then you can continue to hold. So you can get in like a small position or a starter contract at above 378. which was or 378.40. I'm sorry, I'll write that down. 378.40, and then you can watch it move up and contest that second level I pointed out there. But I would not hold this. Sell it before earnings. Do not hold this through earnings because Boeing. I'm sure a lot of you have been keeping up with Boeing and the issues of getting their 737s back in the air. So, um, what is Mitch? Oh, MTCH. What is this? A match group? Is this the dating website? Yeah, Tinder C. Yeah, this is probably Match.com. What do we got on the daily? Uh, well, breaking a new highs. Looks like people are looking for love. Love is in the air. Um, yeah, this breakout candle got sold off. Looks like it didn't want to continue it. Um, so tomorrow, who's trading this? Juan. Juan, are you in any calls or puts? Are you in a position? Or are you looking to get in something? You said watching, so I'm assuming you're just keeping an eye on it. This is an area I would keep an eye at. It looked like, well, the momentum is still up on the daily, so I would watch. This is a really bearish candle right here. So, um, I would say if we break below here, I think we're starting to retrace a little bit. So it's using this 50 SMA line kind of as support. We kind of bounced here, had a slight little bounce here. Didn't quite bounce there, but we certainly bounced here. So I would keep an eye on this 50 simple moving average. But it just broke out. It should continue some sort of move up. Um, would watch this too. Maybe a bounce there. Like I said, I said I think in the previous live, I don't really like to get in stocks that are or go long on stocks that are just breaking into all-time highs or 52-week highs, just because the risk to reward ratio is not really there. Um, it's kind of like how much higher can it go? You don't really know how much more upside there is, but there's a whole lot of downside. Um, where is it now? 77. So on the 15-minute, the 5-day 15-minute, you're starting to get the momentum to come back up. You could see this, the fast is starting to bottom out here. We could see like a curl back up. The momentum pick up. RSI is back down here around 30. So it's showing that it is a little bit oversold and momentum is starting to pick back up. So we could see a test at 79.30 again if you want to get in calls. Um, but I wouldn't get in calls unless if you wanna, I would say look for this level first, 75-24. If it's down there and you want to get in calls, wait for the confirmation. Then when you get into the calls, um, this is a key area you'll want to look at. 79-30. OT volume on in studies. Oh, yeah, I don't know why my volume isn't. Does anyone know how to turn on? I've been having this issue. I think I see the volume on the daily. No. Okay. Yeah, I figured it out. Okay. So, yeah, this is why I said be careful on this, because you can see the volume is not really trending up. You kind of have like the volume is getting lower and lower and lower, but you have the stock kind of going higher and higher and higher, which is also something you always want to look at. Um, so, like even here, you have downward sloping on the volume and you have kind of upwards movement on the stock. So the volume is really important indicator you want to look at to see if a move is justified. If you see a stock is being sold off on super low volume, that's not really a confirmation on a downtrend. You want to look for those higher volume days and see how the stock performed. Everyone looks at stuff differently or uses different indicators. So, um, okay, my Alexa's talking to me. But anyways, uh, Marvel. I think Marvel actually didn't they announce they have like a whole list of new movies coming out or something? This doesn't look good at all. It's news. We got any news? What is more? Oh, I thought is this I don't think this is even oh, this is Marvel technology. Oh, this has nothing to do with the Marvel movies. I thought this had to do with the Marvel movies. Or wait, maybe it does. And I'm just being slow today. So this doesn't look good at all, this candle. If you were in a trade, getting into stocks on Monday, can you take a look? So good thing you're not in it yet. It just kind of broke out too, and Friday was just a terrible day for this. This was like a bad day. Um, look. I mean, you have some support down here. This 24.98. So Tiffany, are you asking me to look at it from an investor standpoint? Because you say you're getting into stocks on Monday, or are you trading options? Because from an investor standpoint, and you're holding, I don't really have a good answer for you on that. But short term wise, I can chart it out for you. So, from an investor standpoint, I don't know too much about this company. If you're going to be investing in stocks, you should know the company that you are investing in. You should know everything about them. They're, you know, how they are financially, the sector, who are their competitors, and um, everything like that. So I'm not too aware. Some support here. Um, on a daily, you might see a bounce at these levels. 25, 60, 24.93. Let me look at the lower time frames. Oh yeah, this thing just tanked on Friday. It had a nice I had a nice little uptrend going and it just got screwed. I don't know why that happened. Could be news related. Yeah, this just doesn't look good at all. Um I'd wait to get in if you're gonna get in. At least wait to see. At least wait for this thing to find a bottom. Because right now it looks like it just started a really bearish cycle with that huge red candle. So I would wait before you get in the stocks. You might be able to get a better buy-in price. But these are the two levels I'll be watching for a bounce. Once you see like a bottom and some support and consolidation being made, then go for it if you want to get into it. But I wouldn't yet. I think we might see some more downturn or some more downside tomorrow. Um, yeah, it's odd, the whole market. It just seems like is in like everything is at 52-week highs. I'm gonna look around on the Tom's trading tools. It has a cool feature where you can find stocks that are like breaking out at 52-week highs, things that are over the Bollinger Band. Like, for example, I'm sure a lot of you were following gold, like Nugget. Nugget has broken out like crazy. A lot of these gold stocks, so that's why it's picking up on them. IBM is interesting. I think they reported, and yeah, this thing, yeah, they had earnings and they just went crazy. So now we could maybe look for a push to 154. But that doesn't look good at all. You know what? That's probably had to do with. Well, this doesn't look terrible. I'll look at hey Mark, I'll look at Nvidia in a sec. Oh wow, look at that. So yeah, I mean, this thing was going up. This thing was moving Friday, and then that news hit and just drove this thing down. So this could be a good buying opportunity for IBM. I'm actually gonna keep an eye on it. I think they acquired Red Hat, the company. I like IBM 154. We might see a move to 154 again and test it. I think that's what we might see. I'm gonna put IBM on my watch list. This could be interesting if we break above. it- To see if this earnings is the catalyst that will push us back to 154. IBM could be bullish, or well, it currently is bullish, kind of, but that daily candle doesn't look good. To test 154 again, 154.36. That would be my target for the week as kind of like a swing play. I don't know. You could see it in a day, you could see it in 3 days. So it really depends. I'm gonna look at the lower time frame. Okay, so looks like 149 was kind of like a previous resistance. You had the earnings shot up 149, got rejected, then opened up, tested 149, touched it here, rejected here. You could see a little wedge forming, like an ascending wedge. So I would say 49, maybe it could be a bounce zone for Monday. Um, if we hold, so that will be my criteria for IBM. So if we hold 149, I'll look to get into calls. So if we hold 149, that would be a good buy zone, I think, if you want to see it test 154. So if we hold 149, calls to test 154.36. If we start breaking down below 149, then um, I would not get in calls because we could see more downside. So if we hold 149, get some calls, or that would be like my buy zone. If we see 149, I'll get in. Um, then I would just get out if we break 149. That will be my guidelines to get into that trade. Um, yeah, and look, the 5 minute RSI looks a little bit oversold, but I don't really like bounded indicators. Wow, whew, I'm yawning a lot. All right. Oh, let me see what the options look like in this actually. Um, so look at this. We had. This is part of a spread. I want to know what spread that is. Um, so on Friday there was 2,000. There was a 2,800 contract trade for 155 puts. I don't know. I'm like looking at it. Some of these could be part of a spread. What's the IV? Let me look at the IV on this. Percentile. How much are they? August 2nds. They're not that bad. Okay, we'll move on. But that is my trade on IBM. I don't know which ones I would grab though. Maybe like some August 9ths. What were we looking at? What was our target? 154.36. So we could look at the. Wow. Look how cheap the 155s are. Eh. Hmm. 152s. I guess I would grab 152 fives. If you wanted to get into IBM. I like that. What is PM? Philip Morris. Yeah, look, so why did this break out? Like this could be a short. Did they have earnings? Oh, this is when they had earnings. Oh, they made like a $9 move. Yeah, it has. This has a gap to fill to 91.14. Um, this is interesting. I'll keep an eye on this one. Oh, I gotta look at Nvidia for you in a sec. I forgot. Sorry. Um, this could be an interesting trade. They had earnings. All right. I don't think this thing trades on a lot of volume. Does it? $87.54. Gap fill. So a gap fill target. Um, 91. 87.76. So don't get in the trade. Don't get in long. if break below 87.76, 87.17 is a support. So yeah, I mean this is the level I'll be watching right here if I want to get into this. If we start breaking below here, this would be like my exit. But I think we might see a gap fill. Maybe. Depends on how the market goes. This just had earnings, so it could continue. But right now, yeah, some bull flags here. Yeah, we could see a pop in the morning. I like this trade kind of. Kind of. Yeah, like I said, I'll get out if we break below, or this would be like my get out zone, and this is like historical support that I was resisting on, and then we have that gap fill up to here. So not a huge range we're trading in, but if we get down to this level here, or right here, if we hold Friday's close, then I'll consider calls to 91.07. I like that because it's like almost there. You don't need a crazy move to fill the gap. We might see it early in the day, but that's where I would take my profits right there. Philip Morris. All right, Phil. Let's see what we got. I'll look at Nvidia now. Oh man, I'm fucking tired. Long weekend. What did you guys do this weekend? Anyone do anything cool? Hmm. Wow, this is crazy. Like how we're like, this could be a good swing. Like could do like a bull put spread on this. Some sort of like debit spread that it would hold. What do we close at? 168. Let's stay over 170. So, um, so on a daily, they have earnings coming up too. Oh no, oh that's in August. Okay, so working like a slave. Yeah, we have momentum on our side. I think we had a yeah. I was in Nvidia on Friday. I thought we might see another pop because it was kind of coiling here. Um, this is really interesting. We kind of had this going. Wait, why is it not? Something kind of like that. Um, but it just broke to the downside. Unfortunately, that's when the news hit, and it just kind of that's what let it go. So considering that it just kind of broke. It could be a buy zone. This could have been a good buying opportunity, but this follows the market closely as well. Nvidia. Um, yeah, it just kind of like broke this trend line I had going. Long term on the daily, it still looks good. 50 SMA, it's starting to finally like it started to come down, and then now we might start curling up and then make another move up. That's how I see it. But we do have a 15 EMA crossover on the 50 SMA. So short term, it's looking good. We could see a turnaround. But we do see kind of like a topping out here on the MACD. It's starting to lose momentum, probably from that Friday sell off. So um, down here, we might see a retrace. Let's see. Let me do some fibs maybe. Me. Let's see. Drawings. All right. So 160. It's using this is too bad. So we could see 165. At the end of the day, Friday was really ugly. I'm like trying to think on video. So 172 is going to be 172.75 is going to be some some pretty heavy resistance. Wait, we touched it here. You could see it was sold off pretty hard. 172.75. So Nvidia long term swing. I like it, but might not be buy zone until. Wow, that kind of lines up perfectly with my trend line. This fib retracement to 61.8. That's crazy. Um, so I think is we see if we continue down, we could see a bounce at 165.62. Bounce 165.62 question mark. Will we see it there? That's a pretty bearish candle. That's nice big red candle there. So I do see maybe a continued downwards or continued downside if we have a pretty shitty day in the market. Um, yeah. Um, I wouldn't short it though. Definitely like don't short Nvidia. Um, I would say it's more of like a wait until the buy zone or like the bounce zone, then get in some calls because um, the thing is you don't really want to like fight the trend. If a stock is moving up, has a nice upwards motion. As you could see, like if you were fighting the trend, you would, maybe like short, get in short right around here, and you'd see like a $4 move. Whereas if you just, here too, if you were to short, go against the trend, short from 157 to 151, that's like you're going to anywhere from $4 to $5 move is what you're realistically going to catch. You're not going to catch at the exact top and the exact bottom. So you might catch $4. Whereas if you just go with the trend, you could catch a, 130 to, that's a $20 move. And here you have 144 to 150. These are a lot bigger moves up versus catching the waves down. So don't short it. I'd say wait to get in calls. Yeah, it has really nice waves going. So you could really catch something down here. Or no, what was I looking for? Yeah, yeah, we were looking at 165. So we might see like a bounce here again and a continued upwards move. So 165, 62 area ish would be my buy zone. And then we could see the test here again at 172. And then there we might finally break out. Um, so yeah, and you can see the volume confirms these moves too. Um, you see um, upward sloping volume, stock moving up, upward sloping volume, it's getting larger, larger, larger. The stock's moving up higher, higher, higher. So that's confirmed, um, a nice trend going on. So yeah, that's what I pointed. But if it breaks that trend line, I wouldn't get in calls. You always want to wait for confirmation. And then that would be my next target. It would be 172. I'm going to write these down. I'm going to actually get rid of these fibs. So I'm going to put price targets in here. So I have it on my chart as well. Drawings. So that would be my bounce zone right there. And then I'm going to draw some there. And then we have another one up here. So these are going to be my two resistance levels for the next move up. And this is where I expect to bounce somewhere, hopefully. I think this has a nice setup going. So like this could be like a good um, trade for like a butterfly kind of trade, where if we see our price target somewhere hitting at a certain date, a butterfly would be good, like between like a $2 range. So that's NVIDIA. I'm gonna look at the options for this. Uh, so this is where I set up my swing trades and look at things. This is where I set up my trades. Wait, this is not NVIDIA. God damn it. Okay. So now risk graph. So this is kind of what a butterfly looks like here. So this is kind of how butterflies works, and you can adjust the legs. Oh, this is 719. This is not what I wanted to do. This is the wrong expire. Damn it. Hold on. Yeah, why does it look like that? Oh, okay. So this would be an example of like a butterfly um, where theta, where time decay is kind of your friend on this trade. So this kind of says at least by August 2nd, you would expect it to trade within this range. Um, so these lines are time decay. So this is like the risk profit graph, kind of, however you want to explain it, by days. So the red is by July 19th, the blue is by July 23rd. I think this would actually be a pretty good trade to take, honestly, where you sell two of the 172.5s, which is your target, kind of your exact target ish, and then you buy the 180 calls, and then you buy the 165s as kind of like hedging. Um, so you could see, let's say by July 28th, if they are within this range, if they're within this range of, looks like 177 ish, um, yeah, but you would have $111 profit. And this is actually a great setup. You're risking $200 for a max profit of $550. Um, so if by expire August 2nd, you are, if it expires at 172.67, that's over 100% profit. And these are like different trades you can get into. This is why I say learning the spreads is really important, because you could use them to your advantage instead of sometimes just buying straight calls. Um, you can have theta work as your friend, and you don't have to worry about it. And the risk reward is great. Um, so this would be an example of a trade. Of course, the longer you hold it, the more profit it gets, but it must stay in that range. So um, that would be an example of a trade I would take. I think I might take this in my swing trading account. Nvidia, of course, it's tough now because the way the market is and how news driven everything is. And I think it might not be a good idea to get in because I think we have a Fed meeting at the end of July, and it determines if we're going to cut the rates or not. So um, that news might completely void our trade, but I might take this in like a paper account if you guys want to follow along. Um, so Nvidia, we're gonna buy the August 2nd. Two, you buy two. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You sell two. You sell two of the August 2nd, 172 fives. And then you buy 165s, and then you buy a 180. You buy one of each. And there's all different ways you can do it. There's broken wing butterflies, um, where you could buy 2 of the 165s. Or we'll do that. And you could see how it affects your risk graph. Actually, that is kind of screwed up. Did not mean to do that. That is not what I meant to do. Do not follow that. Let me see where you could do like a debit spread. Or if you think it'll be above. Let me see what this looks like. That's a bearish trade. Actually, I meant to switch it. You want to sell, buy, and then you sell. Yeah, you sell the 170s. Yeah, okay, and then buying the one. Okay, so this would be like a example of a call spread. If you believe that Nvidia will stay above 170 by August 2nd, I don't like the risk reward. I usually like a 2-to-1 risk reward. This is kind of a 1-to-1, but we could use it as an example of how theta works. And you have these time decay lines to show your profit. So, this is a great way to avoid time decay where, you risk $254, and if by expire it stays, if it expires above $170 Nvidia, then you have 100% profit right there. These are like great higher probability trades. I mean, that's 100% return on your investment right there. And, you know, um, these are just different ideas that you guys can practice in paper trades. Um, so enough of NVIDIA. I think I put my trade down for NVIDIA. Anything else you guys want me to look at? Oh, what was I looking at? I think Starbucks just broke out again. Oh, I'm looking at the earnings. So Monday before open, we have GNC. Okay, no one really crazy. Logitech, Whirlpool should be interesting. Tuesday before open, Coca-Cola, Snap, Visa. Oh, I want to look at Square. Yeah, it just broke to the downside. Just so it failed to break out. Oh, you know what? I think we talked about this. That's a triple tap. Boom, boom, boom. So we could see some more downside. This might be a nice short back down to mid 170s. What do we close at? Where are we at now? 178. Yeah. Well, might get a couple dollars out of this. Let me bring up YouTube again. Oh, shop. That's right. But yeah, this just goes to show how it broke down out of our triangle that we drew. Yeah, we drew this, I think, was it the live session on Thursday or something? Had this triangle. Well, this is kind of a bad support line, but yeah, it just completely broke to the downside. I don't know if there was news that did this. Oh, price target announced at $78 per share. So it had like some price, not really downgrades. It was just, yeah, I guess it was downgraded to a hold rather than a buy. So that's probably um, what really did it. So it failed to break out. It might be a good short. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get an update on. You could look at Square Shop. Let's look at Shop. Um, Friday, I said I would like shop calls if it got below 330, and it did get below 330. It dabbled around the 329 area. Yeah, like just got below 330. Um, so yeah, this thing has been on a tear. So yeah, we have some trend line. We're right here at like trend line support. I'm gonna draw it in here. So I can draw better. Okay. So yeah, this is why I said I like shop calls below 330 or right around 330. We are right around at this trend line support. It even goes back down to, yeah, look at that. That's kind of like an idea ish. As long as we get like a, okay, right about there. I like that trend line right there. Um, so look at this. We have some support here. This was a previous resistance, which it might be using as support. We have some support here. Um, so I think if you got in near the close yesterday, you might have gotten a really good entry. And we could see another pop to. Did we break? Did we break 52-week highs? Oh yeah, we touched 339, so that was a new or all-time high actually, I think. But yeah, so um, we could see. I mean, this thing hauls ass. We could see a test of 330, 339. Um, so if you want a chance to get in on Monday, I guess like if you buy in around 330, anywhere from like 330 to like 330. Let me see. Yeah, I mean if you could buy in around like 330 to 332 ish, I guess I wouldn't hold it because you're right here at 52-week highs, but I know it's been getting a lot of price upgrades as well, so we could see a test of 339 again. With we have 336 as some previous resistance. on the shorter time frame. But again, the options are getting quite expensive. Um, so yeah, I mean these are my 2 points for Monday. There's a lot of lines going on here, but anyways, um, yeah, I think we could either see 336 or what is this 337 about, and then a test of 339, and these would be my two um, sell points. So once we hit like 336, I might sell half a position. And once we get here, if we kind of see some resistance and we're shaking around here, then that'd be a good sell point. Take your profits because then again, you're running into 52-week highs where, how much higher can it go, especially everyone kind of waiting on the Fed's decision at the end of the month on if we're cutting 25 basis points, if we're cutting 50 basis points. So everything's, I think we might see a little consolidation. Actually, no, we won't see any consolidation next week because of all the earnings, but it's going to be a crazy week. So I hope you guys are ready. Huge names are reporting. Um, so shop. I think you might be able to get a nice day trade in. It's not something I would hold overnight. This is shop would be a day trade for me. Because this thing always runs up and then sells off and then runs up and then sells off. So not something I would want to hold. Day trade could be pretty good. We did trade Lyft. Lyft actually, whoever got in Lyft on Friday, we killed it. We killed Lyft on that watch list. Perfectly, almost perfect. I said to watch that level, and once we broke it, we had a nice run. So I think Lyft is just getting started again. We might be able to see a run back up to its opening IPO price. What did it open it at? I think it opened at 75. We might see a run to 75, which is what it IPO'd at back in April. April. I mean, this has just been on a nice little trend line. We might, I mean, look at all these green days in a row. I mean, we could say, okay, 69, 72. These are kind of where I get my resistance points. Um, like right here, we might see a little shakiness. These are just points to consider. I might play lift again. The volume looks good too. Like you could see big volume on this green candle, huge volume on this green candle, um, upwards on the volume. Look at the volume, high volume, and then you have lower, lower, really low. Still kind of low considering the green days, but this doesn't confirm the trend down. So volume confirms what we're looking at here. See, look, these days it went down, downward sloping volume. I know it's kind of hard to see. So downward days, downward sloping volume, upward days, upwards sloping volume. Um, So, downward sloping volume here, here, gets lower, and then here. So, lift, long term, we could see another push to 75 soon. I might trade this sucker on Monday. I'm gonna add it to my things to consider, and it is 11:30. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. So lift, I don't really have any points on lift. I mean, you gotta go to the lower time frames. Oh, you know, see, I wouldn't want to stay in calls if we break down below our um 66.23 area, or what we opened at on Friday. So, um, yeah, I'll consider trying to get in a nice price on calls on lift, and look to ride it up until 75. Real quick, I got in some Walmart um, puts on Friday. Those help me stay in Disney. Nice rundown. So, Walmart's up here. I'm at 52-week highs. We started this nice bearish cycle. I think it's a little overextended. You can see Walmart's just kind of like bouncing at the 50 SMA as it trends up, and here we just kind of went off course. So I think we need a little retracement before Walmart keeps going up. So I play these intraday. I don't really have any price targets. I kind of scout Walmart a little bit, but Walmart is something good to look at too. If we break below, what do we close at? 113.92. If we get below 113.92 on Monday, that'd be another good hold for puts. But I would not long Walmart. Um, but I might even, if we test highs again, like up here, like 115, or as we get higher, like 115 seems like a good spot to buy some puts for Walmart. Like if you got in the open here, you had a nice move down. Here again in the 115 area, nice move down. And then here on Thursday, we rallied back up to 115.32 area, and nice rundown. So I would like to try and catch some puts at Walmart above like 114.50 area. And give yourself some time on these. Don't play the 726s. Play like the August 9s or August 16s. You could do like the um oh, I'm looking at IBM. I'm like so confused. Play the one. No, don't get in those. The weeklies. The one the 113s are pretty cheap. These are like really cheap options. 182 cents on the 112s. So something to consider. I jotted all these plays down. I'll write them up Monday morning, and have some stuff to look at. But that's pretty much it. It's getting late. I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow. But um, let me look at Beyond Meat. As Beyond goes higher and higher and higher, it just makes me so inclined to short it even more. We might see someone in the other chat I'm in said that we might see 200 again on Beyond Meat, but I can't wait to get in some shorts or some puts on Beyond Meat. If we touch 200 again, that would be easy money almost. Even if we hit 186. But yeah, 200. Don't get in long on Beyond Meat. I hope not. What's another interesting one? Apple. Oh. Apple seems to be right down here around trend line. I think this could be a buy zone. I mean, if you want to consider this a trend line, but I drew this out on Thursday's the last live session. look how perfectly played out. I mean, I was off by like 13 cents or something like that. Well, this is even pre-market, so open hours, right there, and we broke. And if even if you waited for it to break below trend line, that was a nice $2 move. So I can't believe no one really took that from the watch list. That was probably the biggest play, more than Lyft, if you were to catch it up here when it got rejected. Um, but I think it might be time to go get back in some Apple calls on Monday. I'll be looking at those. At least maybe to get back in this triangle formation I have going. I'll check the chat one more time if anyone wants me to go over anything. Yeah. Um, that's pretty much it. That's what I'll be looking at. Don't trade earnings. Don't just please. I mean, it's your money, but I'm saying I don't like to trade earnings because it could um you're pretty much gambling. You get IV crushed, and I showed you guys plenty of examples in the chat. Um, for Netflix, I think Netflix had it went from like three. Uh, I think the puts only if you were to short Netflix and get some puts overnight for the earnings, those puts only opened up at about 115%. So you had like that $30 move or something, whatever it was on Netflix, and you only made 100 and something percent. So that's why I don't trade earnings. The risk reward, I mean, 100% or a little over 100% on a $30 move from Netflix is crazy. Just goes to show. And I think, um, let me see here. Let me look at the earnings calendar. We have McDonald's at the end of the week, Starbucks, Tesla, Boeing, PayPal, Anthem, UPS, Caterpillar. Yeah, this is going to be a big week. So, alrighty, I'm going to head off. I hope you guys have a good night. I'll type something up in the morning and put it up, but I'll have it for you guys before market open, what I'll be looking at and what we discussed, so you guys have something to go off of. But all right, have a good night, guys.